And welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Andrea McCaffrey. She is Director of University Relations at Walsh University in North Canton. And we were saying before the break how many things that Walsh offers to the community and the community outreach in itself. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think the first thing that we provide for the community is service. I mentioned that our mission is to develop leaders in service, and 100% of our students are involved in service in the community. It's actually built into our curriculum. So, for instance, on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we had more than 300 volunteers out in the community working with 20 different agencies and helping to provide assistance to the homeless, packaging food for students, for children in the community who maybe won't have something to eat on Martin Luther King Day, and working with just out there really providing assistance. So that's a big part. That's one thing I would say.
I love that you're saying that this is actually built into the curriculum.
Yes.
How does that work? Does the faculty all agree that they're going to make some component of their syllabus include some kind of community service?
And it really goes back to that experiential learning, which is learning through experience. So a lot of times, for instance, our students in accounting would help with tax preparation for people who might not be able to afford it. With our Father Matthew Hurton Counseling Center on campus, that some people might not be aware that we actually have a counseling center. We have a full-time director, but we also have the graduate students who are helping to work with providing counseling needs. So it's really built into, but it makes sense and built into the community, to organizations working with businesses locally, maybe in preparing marketing plans to help with a nonprofit who might not have the resources or the funds to go out and have their own marketing department, so they can come in and meet with our class and they will help to prepare. So it provides the students with a real world experience while also providing a service to the community.
Something great to add to their resume,
Exactly.
isn't it? They've gotten their hands dirty out there in the trenches.
And it's all about developing those skills that are marketable as well. So never forgetting that we're an education institution, but we are also, combining that with service.
Well, what better way to learn than
Right,
by
exactly.
experiencing it? Do you
Exactly.
have other new student initiatives you want to touch on?
Other student initiatives that really impact the community. One is our Brother Francis Bluen Global Scholars Program. This is a group of students that was started several years ago and named for our third president, who many people in the community might have remember as Brother Francis Bluen.
Sure.
He really exemplifies servant leadership for all of us at Walsh. And this unique program provides an opportunity for students it's called a living learning community. So they apply and then they work and live together in one dormitory or residence hall. And they're able to pick their own majors and minors, but then they also are working together to address an agreed upon global issues, such as food sustainability or healthcare or education access in third world countries. These students are working together. They also have the global opportunities in Africa and in Europe. And last spring, our inaugural group, and it was something we were really proud of, they were able to win a contest and launch a campus kitchens program here at Walsh. And that project actually takes leftover food from our dining and residence halls and food that hasn't been served, obviously, and they repackage it and then they distribute it. They give it out to local organizations who hand it to the homeless, who give it to the homeless. So it's a way to help make sure that our resources are not going to waste, and it's a wonderful opportunity for the students. Another group that kind of goes hand in hand with them is the Bluen Leaders in Social Justice. They're a newer group. They were started in 2014. Again, named for Brother Francis Bluen. But this group, their motto is to think globally and act locally. So it's a 2-year program for sophomores and juniors who are both commuter students and resident. And they have been doing things such as tutoring inner city students, working with migrant children. They've assisted with homeless census, taking homeless census, working with Habitat for Humanity and just other groups and stuff that are happening in the area, like with domestic violence and human trafficking. So those are two examples of groups of students who are just doing remarkable things for our community and for the greater community in the world.
And thinking globally, but acting locally, help us understand a little bit more about, you've given examples of what they're doing, but what does that mean? How do you think globally while you act?
Well, they're looking at global issues such as homelessness, but then they're taking it and localizing it and helping to bring it to our community. Exactly. Working in our own backyard.
And then right there in North Canton, there it is taking place and really impacting the world right from where you are. You also have faculty who are impacting the world with cutting-edge research. Tell us about that.
We have remarkable faculty. They're just incredibly talented, and in addition to their teaching that they're doing in the classrooms, a lot of them are as you said, engaged in these research opportunities. I should mention we have 132 full-time faculty members, and they range from research initiatives from one, is investigating adolescent concussions. She is
that's huge
in physical
right now,
therapy. It
with
is.
that
It's
movie
a big
that
topic.
was just out.
Just with the concussion. Yeah, and she's actually finalizing the statistics and the findings right now. But it's really going to be a groundbreaking research. What she did was she took 40 athletes. This is adolescents, so age 10 to 23. I guess the common practice in PT is not to provide physical therapy for concussion patients until after about 3 months, until it has become what is considered chronic. So she wanted to look at, is it feasible to provide PT therapy after 10 days to help provide relief faster for these patients? And so she engaged they had 40 different athletes who came through and participated in the study. And it's really going to be groundbreaking for the PT industry because what she's finding is that it absolutely does help impact.
They can help it.
And it can help it. So, that's something that's, going to really, I think, change the industry that she's involved in and help provide, care for better care for patients. We have faculty members who are involved in cancer research for heart, looking into heart disease for women, high blood pressure for men, water impurities. We have a business group who has been doing some marketing research for the Acton Institute, which some of your listeners might know is a nonprofit research organization for the study of religion and liberty. And then, and a lot of this wouldn't happen, I guess I should mention, without grant funding. So we've been seeing an increase in our grant funding, especially on the federal level. Just this past summer, we received an HRSA grant for $600,000. And if I get this right, I think it's Health Research Services Administration. And then the NSF grant we received 2 years ago for chemistry. And that was about, again, that's to help fund scholarships for students who are interested in going into chemistry. Another interesting program I should mention, though, is our faculty members who are working with a group of women in Uganda. And it's called the Zika Microfinance Project. And what they were doing is, it's been going on for about 5 years now. They were helping to empower women in the small village of Zika, which is near our Kasubi campus, which is how we got involved. These women, had the means, but maybe not the funds to start their own businesses to help these, self-sustainable. So they started this microfinance project with small loans that can range, as low as $25 or as high as $100. And the women start their own businesses, and then they pay the loans back to the community, and then they can give out more loans. And they've started their own businesses with brick making and selling crafts and selling charcoal, and it's just really changing lives of these women in this village.
How
and
incredible.
Impacting, when you think about it, their children and their families as well. So just some really interesting things that are happening.
And bolstering the economy of their village.
Exactly.
That's incredible. Well, and that goes to my next question. We kind of touched on briefly the global experience that a person gets from going to Walsh University. But it's a global experience that from here impacts the world. Your students truly are going out impacting the world. Some of them right from North Canton, some of them actually by going out. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, a couple years ago, or maybe it was 2 years ago, our president, as you know, Susie, the world is becoming more interconnected.
It is.
And he gave the charge that he would like to see every student graduate from Walsh with a global experience. It really does extend our mission of service around the world while also furthering education, and it gives students a deeper understanding of a culture that's different from their own, which is going to be very beneficial in this global economy that we've created now. It also cultivates skills that are in demand for today's employers. And, in addition to that, students gain self-confidence, leadership skills. It's an employable edge. We're on our way. We've seen a 53% increase in our global learning participation. We've had 20 separate international trips over the past year. We also welcomed 86 international students from 31 different countries to our campus. That's also a part of, they're bringing that international experience right here to North Canton. But, over the past year, our students and faculty members have traveled to places such as Tanzania, Uruguay, which I mentioned, our honor students building the playground there. They took a spiritual pilgrimage to Mexico. They've been in Rome, obviously, with our campus, Uganda, which are our other campus, France, United Kingdom, Switzerland. And looking back, I'm trying to think of some examples here of some of what the students have been doing. They're providing health care. One thing, in Tanzania, our two groups of Walsh students traveled to Tanzania. They're studying healthcare there. We have one group of nursing students who've gone out, and they're treating patients in 2 different hospital settings there. They're actually working with Tanzanian nurses and health students there to provide care. And, while at the same time our Blue and Global Scholars are there studying healthcare systems.
Wow.
So it's a way for them to collaborate. Another group.
So when you say 27 trips, sometimes they are multiple trips to the same location, and they're even working together.
They're even
on
sometimes
something.
collaborating, working together, or working with our
Very
students
cool.
in Kasubi. Yes, there's always ways that we're looking to connect the trip. We actually had several trips meet up last year in Rome, Italy together and took a great photo of like 3 troops, all finding each other in one spot and able to collaborate. Our counseling and human development students are also traveling to Uganda, where they work with the Archdiocese of Gulu to work with people who are recovering from years of internal wars there. So,
Oh, my.
yeah, they're providing service in all kinds of ways, really, and while furthering their education and their personal development.
It's incredible. It's an incredible opportunity for students. You also offer resources, as the colleges and universities in this area do. We are so blessed to have so many colleges and universities right here, all within a stone's throw of each other. But again, as I have said before, each with their own unique perspective and a place at the table. You each are so distinctive in what you offer. There are similarities, but there are such differences as well. And some of the things that you offer to the community where we're able to come and participate just are numerous. Let's talk about some of those.
Sure. Throughout the year, we have educational and cultural events, including speakers and authors and guest lecturers who come to campus. We've got vocal performances throughout the year. I know you just had Britt Cooper on from our chorale, with our Christmas productions. And
Yes.
we have the Walsh Chorale and the Chamber Singers. We have a drama troupe, the Genesius Players, and they have theater productions through the year. We also have the Burke Center for the Arts Atrium Gallery, which hosts art exhibits that are free to the public and can come through. We just finished a beautiful exhibit there of photos from King Tut. We have the Hoover Historical Center, athletic programs that you can come to watch. And I should mention that our Walsh's Chapel, Our Lady of Perpetual Help Chapel, offers daily Mass from 8 a.m. They have an 8 a.m. Mass and 11:30 a.m. Mass, as well as Sunday for 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. I talked about the Father Matthew Hurtna Counseling Center. And then a couple things, that would really interest your listeners are probably, we have a PT community clinic that's coming up this spring.
This sounds very interesting. Tell us more about that.
The physical therapy clinic is going to be held April 8th, 15th, and 20th. It runs from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's under the supervision of licensed physical therapists within our division, and it's also the students in the Doctor of Physical Therapy program. And they provide free physical therapy checkups to members of our community. And these include free blood pressure exams, physical exams, risk prevention. They help coordinate individual exercise programs. They offer referral programs. And as I said, it's free to the public. So anybody ages, it's adults 18 and over, and they register for a one-time, 1-hour assessment. And I know these have been very popular in the past.
That's just fantastic.
yeah.
That would help a lot of people, I would think.
Sure.
And you also have lifelong learning.
I know. I was hoping we have time to fit this in.
We do.
The Lifelong Learning Academy was created to encourage the ongoing study of adults in our community. So it's a free lecture series with guest lecturers. It just kicked off on January 11th. With our first offering. This semester, we have 18 events that are going to be happening. Topics range from forgotten books of the Bible to encountering ancient authors. We have the 41st Annual Philosophy Theology Symposium in there. And one of our ending events is going to be All That Jazz is the topic with M.J. Albacetti, who's the Director Emeritus of the Canton Museum of Art. People can attend one or they can attend them all. The next lecture is going to be on January 25th. At 7 p.m., and that's going to be with Walsh's own Dr. Chris Seaman, who's going to be talking about the forgotten books of the Bible. And that's an 8-week series right there, examining the 9 books of the Old Testament. And obviously there's so many to mention, but you could get a complete listing of all of these at walsh.edu.
Perfect. Andrea McCaffrey, Director of University Relations at Walsh University. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you, Home Appliance, for your sponsorship, and thank you for listening to our community.